guys, welcome back to the channel. So off camera I decided to go ahead and put an extra couple of braces into the actual door frame, especially to support the opening of the glass. So it took me a few cuts, a little bit of welds, and we got her done. The whole outside of the frame is completely welded now and grinded and smoothed down. So the game plan now is to cut the spot welds off the frame, pull the door down, and weld the opposite side. Now the opposite side, there's only one seam that we have to weld. So it's gonna take a little while, but we'll get her done. And then we're gonna skin this door. So guys, let me put this camera on a tripod and let's get this door off. So guys, let's grab the death wheel. So what I like to do is make sure that it's clamped at the bottom. So I'll grab another plier, another clamp, and we'll clamp it at the very bottom, just to make sure that when I cut the spot welds off, or the tacks off, that it doesn't come flying at us. Maybe I'll put one at the very top. The door's looking pretty good. Quite happy with that. Where do we want to put it? Let's put it right up here. All right, let's get a pair of safety glasses and let's trim off this panel. There's the one. I think we're good. All right, let's move this out of the way. We're going to move the welder out of the way because we're going to need the layout table. Let me just move this out of the way. Maybe I should put on a pair of gloves. Let's see how if we can get this thing to come down. That's pretty good. We're going to need those too. All right, let's see. There we go. There we go. So it's a big door, guys. She's big and gonna be heavy. So we'll hope to hopefully this oven can withstand the weight of it, fully extended, and I'm pretty sure it will. Now with that glass bead in there, they put an extra 25 kilos of weight in those bars. So I'm hoping that's going to help. And then if worst case scenario, and if we have issues of it wanting to tip forward, I am going to use 20 gauge cold press for both sides of this. Originally, on most of the ovens I do that are bigger, I do a 16 gauge on the inside to match the inner liner and then a 20 gauge on the outside. I am not going to do that on this. It's going to make it way too heavy. I'm going to do 220 gauge and then maybe a 16 gauge, an extra 16 gauge in the back to give it an extra on the outside skin to give it some more weight in the back. But I think she's going to be okay. There's a little bit of flux, not too much, but once we put the sheeting on, we should be good. What we're going to do is get the other side welded and then go from there. She's looking pretty good. Okay, let's see if I can get this thing on the actual bench. That's going to be fun. So the game plan when you're welding this, I mean, we're going to get some warping, I'm pretty sure. We're going to try not to. We're not going to not overheat the frame. We're going to try to do them in small sections. You can hook up a compressor and do it that way if you like to try to cool her off. You could do that, cool each section. But what I'll do is I'll start off in the middle and then work my way out. You know, do a little bit in the middle, a little bit on the outside corners, and move around on the actual door frame. This way we try to keep it as straight without bowing like crazy. So guys, I've got it all welded. I hit it with a little bit of high heat paint around the edges. The next step, of course, we grinded all the welds down, made it all nice and smooth. She looks good. So the next step is to get the sheet to put on top. If you remember, this was 74 3/4 wide. So the game plan is to cut my 20 gauge cold press at 75. And then we're going to do the opening for the window or the sight glass, and I'll show you guys how I do that. Lay it right on top. Try not to bend it. If I can get it. Oh, that was a challenge. All right. So we'll mark this one at 75. We'll cut off that bent corner there. And I'll take out the plasma cutter and cut it. She's looking pretty good. So let me get a Sharpie and we'll mark it. Got one in my pocket. So we're going to do 75. All right. Let me just make another mark here. I'm going to use a square anyway, T-square. But let's just make sure we're on. And we'll definitely move that when we're ready to cut. Just move this down a bit. Nice and square. Yeah, that's awesome. Then I'll show you how I'll do the sight glass. So what we're going to do is push the door this way, and I'll let that overhang, and then I'll cut it so we don't ruin the door, of course. Make sure we clear. And then maybe we'll put something under here to hold it. Maybe I'll pull up the other pop-up table. Come on now. Why is that? Come on. All right. This one's seen better days. We're gonna have to hook up the compressor, guys, so it's gonna get loud. Okay, so we're going to get a piece of angle iron. We know it's 1.5 inches, right? Do I have a long strip somewhere? No. Okay, so we'll mark 1.5 inches and then we'll throw a line. Actually, what we'll do is we'll just take a piece of angle iron. So what you got to be real careful with this stuff here is that you don't want to dent it. Okay, because this is going to be visual. You're going to see this, and you want it to look good. Well, I do anyway. That's important to me. There we go. Okay, we've got a straight edge, and we'll draw that out. Alright, where's my straight edge? It's down here. One on. Go. This side. go. So she's marked. So the game plan here is to cut this out. We're going to score the outside line with the death wheel and give it enough that we can bend. This is going to be the inside portion, so the portion that you're not going to see, and we'll bend that out. Every corner we'll cut on a 45, and we'll do that with the death wheel, and then we'll start bending that up. And then what we'll do is we'll get the door back in its place, faced up, and then put this on top, and then I'll show you exactly what I'm going to do then. Okay, so let's get this somewhat figured out. So the game plan would be to cut this. So we need to have this surpass the table. Yeah, we're good there. And I think we're good here. We can push it through just a bit. Okay, so we got to clamp those in. Now, with a plasma cutter, always leave a little extra because it cuts it about an eighth shorter. I'm going to leave it right on the line. I'm okay with it being a little bit shorter. Okay guys, I got to turn the compressor back on, so I apologize for that, and then we'll get that going. I thought I saw another one somewhere here. Nope. One here. Not bad. Alright, so next is to score this outside line. So we'll do it with the death wheel. We're going to do it in sections. I'll run a hard edge against it, and then we'll cut these in 45s and then bend them up. And we should be good. Oh, another dent. Great. I'm doing good here, guys. On a solid surface like that. So this is going to be a very light score. Doesn't matter if you overpass, so you're going to be fine if you're going to go over it. Over the line doesn't really matter because you're going to be cutting at 45 anyway. 45. Put this away. Real sharp. I'm going to take it nice and easy and see if I can get it to bend. I'm pretty sure I can, but up just a tad. Get this one somewhat bent, and I'll show you guys. I'm just going nice and easy right up to the score mark and pushing up against it. Very close to. Okay guys, I'm going to bring you in a little closer so you can take a look and see how it actually looks. She's looking pretty good. So let me put this camera back on the tripod, and we'll get our sealant and put it on, and I'll show you what I'm up to next. Okay guys, so I've got my silicone ready. What I'm going to do is take that panel off. Let me put my gloves on. We'll move this silicone out of the way for a second. Clean that up on there. And all right, so what we're going to do is we're going to apply a small amount all the way through just like so. So if you guys live in a cold weather, like I do in Canada, I mean, not that we don't have nice weather, but if you do and you're working outside in the shop and you don't have heat on, you can put these things in some hot water and they'll run smoother for you. Of course, you want to put them in the hot water when they're still sealed, okay? But they work good. Just gonna move this over a bit. All right, we're good. I'm just going to wipe off the excess off of this and put the lid on it, because I'm going to need it. All right. Now the fun part is getting this back on there without making a mess. And now we just lightly squeeze. All right. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to bend this in to hold her down, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hammer and I'm going to tap it down, try to squeeze this thing down. Okay. Now if you get some on there, don't worry about it. You can use some brake clean, it'll come right off. Not bad. So let's get this other side in. Once I get this flipped over, then I'll smoothen that out. But for now, we want to make sure we get that in as far as we can. Oh, I don't want to push that off too far. There we go. Nice. All right. We just got to make sure this has got to set. It's going to, it'll probably take about 45 minutes or so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run 2 angle irons across it and then squeeze it down. See if I can get it to sit a little more flush. Okay, let me get the angle iron. Actually, I got two of them right there. Well, let's grab these two. Okay. Oops, daisy. Just push that down and clamp those in, and we'll let her dry. Okay, I'll grab another two. And I'll clean the excess off with some brake clean. Nice. We'll need those for there. Okay, hold on a second. Got that one. Move this one. There we go. Got some shorter pieces here. That didn't grab either, did it? No. Okay, let me readjust that. It's got to come more this way. And I gotta bring it up a little bit more. Nice. There we go, guys. She is pressed into place. We'll let that dry. Just got to make sure she's somewhat flattened out. And she is. So what's going to happen with this thing is we're going to put screws on the outer part of it. But the inner part I want it to grab. So I want it to hold up against the angle iron. And this should help. And then once we get it flipped over the other way, seal that right up against that angle iron nice and tightly. We'll put more this way. When you're opening and closing the door, there's no flux in the sheet metal. So guys, this should be all set up. Let's remove these clamps. So what we're going to try to do is make sure we're real careful on top of the face of this door, and we don't want to damage it. And we're going to go ahead and finish mounting the door to the actual frame. let me get rid of this angle iron because I'm going to need this for another project. And there's my Sharpie. I was looking for it earlier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the other ones on while I work on this. And I'll show you what I'm kind of got in mind here. It's pretty straightforward. So what we're going to do is throw a line. Let me get a scribe. 1 second. So we can mark both sides. And we want to be somewhat in the middle. So we want 1.5 inches is there. And we want to be right about there. So we've got a little bit of a lip here. And I'm going to put a mark on this side. And we're going to keep the spacing the same. And I'll show you what I'm going to do. Okay. So for visual, I don't usually mark it, but I'm going to mark it so I can show you guys, so you can see what I'm up to. And I can get rid of the Sharpie later, no big deal. Now we're just going to... Okay. For a visual, you can see that. And then we're gonna measure. So we got to do the same spacing on the top. 1 second. So we want to make sure we've got the same spacing. That's our first one, and we want to do that here too. There we go. And just make sure this is tight. It is tight. And what I do is I just put the T-square on there, and I'm going to mark where I want to put the screws. So we want to try to keep it as consistent as we can so it's got an even look throughout. I'm just going to mark them. So I was going to say più o meno, and più o meno is more or less in Italian. I'm not quite sure why that was coming out of my mouth, but anyway, that's okay. And we'll just roll it down to the end. And we should be pretty well. Yeah, we're right on. Well, and this one's a little bit, we're good. Even if I have to move it, you know, 1/8 of an inch more or less, no one's going to be able to really tell that. There we go. Okay, so now we'll pre-drill. And what I always do is I like to start in the middle. Let's wipe that off. Let's see. Perfect. Okay, so that's what we'll do. So I'll go every other one, and then I'll go back to the one in the middle. So guys, I'm bringing you in a little closer. I got them all screwed in, all the way around. Okay, the outside perimeter of the door. Actually looks really nice. So what we're going to do now is we're going to flip this over. So from past experience, if you grab a plier and you try to flatten out this edge, you dent the front. And I don't want that visual of those dents everywhere. With the last oven I did, I had to deglaze it and sand it and do all that. So what I'm going to try to do is when I flip it over, I'm going to bend that lip. I'll do all the bending of that lip from the inside of the panel of the door. So let me get this flipped over. Let me get this camera back up on a tripod. I can't even talk today. On a tripod, and let's see how she flattens out. Okay, so I got the door flipped over. So the game plan here is to take this lip and work her down. So I'm going to take my steel H-beam and I'm just going to just a little bit of a heavier hammer. Not bad at all. We're just going to keep doing that all the way around, and it'll pinch it in nice and tight. Not bad. You know, the marks back here you're not going to see. So you're better off having them back here. You just got to try to get it as smooth as you can. A little texture back here is not going to matter because we're going to put a seal on it. So when we do the sight glass, we're going to have a seal on it, and that's all we really need. So let me get this all flattened out, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, guys, so I got it all bent and folded over nicely. So the next step, we're going to go ahead and we're going to pass sealant all in the tracking of the 2x oh my gosh, the 1.5 inch angle iron. We're going to seal off all the corners, and that's going to help hold the door from fluxing when you open and close it, and of course cause a little bit of a buffer. I'm just going to go right around. like so. After I got this done, I'm out. We'll get another one. So after I got this done, we're going to get the handle mounted, and then the actual. Why does this feel like there's still more in there? Let's try that again. Let's see. Maybe I just got stuck. It did get stuck. There it goes. I'm getting close to the end. That's all she wrote for that one. We'll cut open another one, and then we'll continue on that side. Move on down to the other side. So we're going to need some of this, so I don't want to waste all of it. We're going to need it for the back panel that's got to go back onto this. She's completely sealed up, guys. Looking good. Let me put the lid back on this thing, and we'll put her away. Perfect. Okay, guys, there you go. So that's my stencil that I made out of the tape and the holes into the angle iron, okay? So I try to keep it as tight to the outside of that angle iron. This way it's not too close to the very edge of the door, okay? So let's bolt that in, and we'll go from there. There you go, guys. That's what she looks like. Get off my knees here. So guys, she's completely assembled. So we've got her sealed insulated, screwed in. The only part on the inside of the door we didn't do was the upper and lower part where the glass goes. We're going to make a compression plate that slips under here and pushes up against the glass. That'll be more towards the end of the build. But she is done. She's smoothened out. All the edges are smoothened and cleaned up. We've got our screws all the way around, about 4 inches, every 4 inches. A little dirty, but we'll clean it up later. But she looks good. We kept it consistent. The spacing in between, once this door is in, she's going to look good. So the game plan now is to mount this on the oven. So what's going to happen on the inside of this door is that there's going to be a seal up against the framing of the oven. So when we're mounting this door, we need to make sure that we actually have space for that seal. We want it tight, but we want a little bit of a gap. So what I've done in the past, and I'm going to do again today, is I'm going to put a piece of the seal on every corner. And then usually I have one on the outside of the door and one on the inside of the oven or against the framing of the oven. I'm just going to do the one because we want it nice and snug. Okay, so let me go grab a piece and I'll put a piece on each side. Let's see if I've got some scrap. And I think I do. Give me a second. I thought I had a small piece somewhere. I do. Okay, well, we'll get a scissor, and I think we're going to need a little bit of brake clean just to clean up those corners so they'll actually stick. I mean, this will come off anyway after, right? Paper towel. So we'll just clean up the corners to get it on there. There we go. Actually, one of my viewers had given me a great idea. He said to use dry erase markers. So I agree with that. I think dry erase markers are a great idea on something that's not going to be painted. You know what I mean? Like if I was doing something that was already painted and, you know, I needed to measure lines and so forth, dry erase markers are a great idea. Here, I mean, I know what he was getting to. He was, you know, why spray extra chemicals into the air? And you know what? I totally agree with that. But in this case, you know, the metal is dirty. So, I don't know. That's not a bad idea. Maybe I'll try it. My problem is I rub up against it and off it comes. But on doing like the control panels, and without making a disaster, I think that's a great idea. So I'm just putting it on the actual corner, like so. I don't want to waste too much of this stuff, it's not cheap. I should give us a good spacing. So when we put the door up against the framing and clamp it in place, I can get the hinges on. And I'll show you how I'm going to do those hinges. Now, this door is really heavy. So right now I've got 2 hinges. They're rated for roughly about 150 pounds per hinge. This door is nowhere near 300 pounds. Is it up towards 180? Probably. But you know, if I feel like it's bowing or it's not sitting right, then I might end up putting another hinge. I have them, so I might end up putting another one if need be. But for now, this is going to be 2, and we'll see how it pans out. So this is the actual seal that I use on the oven. It's high temp. It sticks on with a two-way adhesive. This adhesive, once you put it on, she's not coming off. Actually, those pieces will probably give me a hard time to come off. But works really well. It is fire retardant. If I can get the last piece off, that would be nice. There we go. And put it right over the screw head there. So that's going to be my spacer. And that should work out really well once I put it up against the actual oven. And then we're going to have to get a car jack out and get hinges out and get ready to rock and roll. And a couple of clamps, which I have. And we'll be able to get this mounted. So I'm excited to get this on the door. Actually, get it on the oven. And I'm crossing my fingers that she's not going to come forward. All right, let's see if we can slide this door down. I got the car jack out too, so that'll help. Let me get a pair of gloves. Let's see if we can slide this. Oh yeah, she's heavy. I think it's doable. Okay. I might have to put another hinge on that, guys. Grab some clamps and see if we can get that door to sit right. I have to clean off this side once it's up. Nice handle. She's looking good. All right, let me move you over so you guys can see the door. All right, I'm going to get the car jack underneath and see if we can get it to come on up. It's going to be a little bit of a balancing act. There we go. And roll this inward if I can. Get it to the right height. Okay, just gotta get that jack to be at the right spot. Right now it's not. Well, we're kind of where we need to be. I'm going to clamp this side, and then we'll play around with it and see. We want to clamp it on where the angle iron is. There you go. That's not going to go nowhere for now. Well, we're almost here, so that's got to come this way. And we'll tap it, and that's got to go that way. All right, so let me get a sludge, and we'll do a love tap. Looks pretty good there. That's got to come up. Got to open this up a bit, get the bottom clamped in. There we go. And that's flush. Now the top is not. Well, that's got to come that way. Okay, so, and yep, definitely got to go that way. Where did I put that sludge? Nice and flush. Okay. Well, that's got to go that way a bit. No. Yeah, not bad. Let me clamp this side. Not bad, guys. Okay, so she's looking almost perfect. We just got to get her tighter on that side. Okay. So maybe I should put another clamp here. Let me see how we're going to get that to sit. This has got to come this way. Definitely. I'm wondering if I loosen this, if I move around that jack a bit, if I can get her to swing this way. Hold on. Much better. Okay, let's clamp that back on there. Okay. Now we need to clamp that one and hope for the best. So let's do that. What am I pinching? I'm pinching something. I think I'm pinching the jack. So let me tighten this up. I'm going to loosen the jack and see what happens. Yeah, she's sealed up now. All right, let me put a clamp on that. There we go. Flush. This has got to come this way just a tad. Now we're perfectly flush. All right. How's the spacing on the top? Let's take a look at that spacing on the top, guys. Perfect. It's got to come up on this side just a tad. That's why. Okay. I'm going to put the jack on that side and I'm going to jack that corner up just a bit. See if I can get it. Okay, so we gotta loosen this up a bit. Back off a bit. We'll leave them there just for safety reasons. And loosen this one up a bit. See if I can get it to come up. Oh, too much. No, actually, I got her bang on. Okay. How are we doing here? We're good. We're good. Okay, we're good. Wow, that was a fluke. I'll just strap that down as far as I can. We're good. Tight. Let me see how these hinges fit. Not bad. Put it like that. That should work out okay. And here, that should work out okay. Should bang this corner in just a tad. Okay guys, so we got the first hinge welded in. So what I did here is I used the openings for the screws as spot welds. I did a full weld back here and weld here and here for the door for now. Then we'll completely weld it all the way around, and I'll clean up all the welds. But I'm eager to get the hinges on to see how she's gonna operate. So I'm hoping for the best. So let's see if we can get this one on. Oh, come on. Looks good. Nice. Woohoo! That's hot. All right, just let that cool off a bit. Okay, I think I'm going to let that be for now. I'll let things cool off. I don't want to overheat those hinges too much. I'm going to put a lot of heat into them right now. So I'm going to let them cool off a bit. And then we're going to put this door to the test. Okay guys, we're going to put it to the test. Let's loosen this off. And let's see what happens. I'm going to have to leave it clamped on. All right, guys, fully extended, and the oven's not tipping. That's sensational. Fully extended, and we still got to sheet the outside of that oven, so that's awesome. Very happy with that. That's awesome. Welds are holding tight. Beautiful. What are we scraping with? We're scraping against the inside of that sheet. That's okay. That's good. That is awesome. Beautiful. All right, let's clamp this door shut. We'll clamp that bottom one shut. There we go. Wow, that's a big door. So guys, there she is. We got the door on. We did a full door swing, completely wide open. Oven didn't tip forward, which is awesome. We still need to sheet the back of the oven, put the top on, and of course insulate it. So there'll be the added weight to the back of that oven. But quite happy with that. Now, of course, we still have to add the glass to that, and that will add a little bit of extra weight. But the door swung open beautifully. It's sitting really nicely on the oven. Quite happy with that. So guys, I'm gonna call it because it's getting long again. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. You can all please consider subscribing. It'll help me out tremendously. And if you like, throw a like in there. That would help out too. Thanks guys. Thanks again for watching.